You're listening to Rebel Astrology. That's http://rebelastrology.blogspot.com. You can ask questions or get an appointment on the World Wide Web at rebelastrologer@gmail.com. I am your Rebel Astrologer, and I am Andrew Drobny. And welcome. Last week we got a little theoretical and stuff, and I think that let's talk about something maybe a little more hands-on. It doesn't take an astrologer to tell you that a lot of people are feeling stressed out. A lot of people are feeling like they don't have enough. That's kind of normal, but it seems like it's a little bit crazier now. People are feeling like there's some manipulation, maybe some, I've seen a lot of relationships break up recently. I've seen a lot of just people under a lot of stress and having a hard time. And if we look at the charts, as far as the sky right now, there's just an overall thing. Like I'm not going to key in on any specific signs on this one. This is a big one. This is the outer planets. Pluto and Saturn are kind of duking it out in a square. Squares win. It's an alignment between planets that is particularly tricky, and Pluto and Saturn are particularly tricky planets. Pluto, lord of the underworld, rules over power, but Pluto only really rules over what he takes, what we put down there, what we bury away. In other words, he rules over the power that we should face, but we don't. And so now he's got it, and he's going to use it. And that's just the way it is. Now Saturn rules over restrictions, the law, banking. Whenever Saturn is whenever we're kind of out of whack with our Saturn, we are feeling we're going to feel very trapped in certain ways, very restricted, very smothered. We're going to feel like there's just not enough of something. And whenever we're feeling out of line with Pluto, we're going to feel trapped, but in kind of a creepy, manipulated, kind of way. Now, here's the deal. While all this is going on with Saturn and Pluto, we got another thing going on. And this is the good news. This is and it's all good news, because even if it feels stressful, it's only stressful because you have not aligned yourself with your spirit, with what you want to do, with what you really want. And that's when this crap happens. That's when it gets hard. That's when it gets not fun. That's when we disconnect from the joy that is spirit, is life, is living, is like spirit and incarnation. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to feel good. And what's going on right now is Ceres is playing around in Pisces. Ceres is a minor planetoid, not a lot of attention given to her, but really super important on certain aspects, because also Jupiter is hanging out over there in Aries. And Jupiter and Ceres kind of have a little bit of a relationship, and Ceres and Pluto have a little bit of a relationship, and just in general. And Ceres and Saturn and Jupiter have a little bit of a relationship, and this can solve your issue. Now, keep in mind, or this can be a guide to solving your issue, because the planets ain't doing anything to you. They're just reflecting what's happening everywhere else. And all you have to do is get on the groove, and it can feel good. Ha, believe that, right? This can feel good. This can be good. It is good. It's only us that are failing to recognize it. So what's going on? Okay, so check it out. Ceres is about nurture and letting go. Her daughter in the Roman was called Liberta. In Greek, it's Persephone. She's spring, but she's also liberty. Like, we have in America, we have a big statue of the goddess of spring standing in the harbor, throwing the light around, Well, what it comes down to is that Ceres is able to intervene, especially when she's in Pisces, because Pisces is all about letting go. Think about it. What do you really want? What do you really want? Are you feeling constrained and scarcity because you're getting what you want? Probably not. But the question here is are you more worried about what you really want, or are you more worried about holding on to what you have that you don't? See, we get all afraid and we get all miserly and we hold on to crap. And even if it's not working right, we think, oh God, but this is all I have, man. But you don't have to. Like, it's about re-examining. It's all about spring clinging now. We're turning to Pisces, we're turning to Ceres, and we're saying in a spiritual way, I can reevaluate where my joy is. I can throw it away. I can throw away as much as I need to throw away, give it away. You know, I can pull stuff out of the closet, dust it up, revise it, paint it a new color. Things don't have to be the way you think they need to be. And that solves the Saturn part of the solution, the problem. Now, the Pluto part of the problem, well, and more than that, you have Jupiter hanging out, and Jupiter's in Aries, and Jupiter's about expansion. And Jupiter, see, the letting go nurtures Jupiter, because Jupiter is all about expansion, optimism, new growth. And Jupiter's hanging out in Aries, the big beginner, the start, the new. And he's saying, just let me plant those seeds. Let me plant those seeds. So what we're doing is we're letting go of the stuff that we're no longer feeling right with. We're letting go of it. We're clearing out our storehouses of all the stuff that don't work no more. And we're planting new things. As far as Pluto goes, again, it's all about letting go. Miss Ceres, she's like, whoa, what is this trip? She was the mother of liberty. Yeah, like she couldn't like, like she held on to anything. She's all about nurturing. Beautiful mother. Pluto stole her daughter because Pluto needs to control everything. And what do those that want to control everything want more than the uncontrollable? Now, the dealio is Ceres went down to the underworld, and half the year her daughter stays with her upstairs. Half the year she goes down to the underworld. Ceres won. On a metaphysical, on a personal level, how does Ceres defeat Pluto? How do we defeat these manipulations, or what seem like manipulations? People taking our power, people like having control over us, and mind games, blah, 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 blah. All this stuff. It's simple. Don't give it away. Because whenever you're giving away your power, it's because you're expecting to get someone else's power back. You're expecting to get control over another in exchange. You're asking to make a trade that's not fair, not right, not good for you, not good for anyone else. And you find yourself in that position and you still feel powerless because you gave up the power over yourself. And if it's a love situation, you're with someone you know they don't want you. Or you're in a situation where, it's like nothing feels right without free will. Nothing feels right without opening up. So here's the deal. It's spring, man. It's time for some spring cleaning. Start with your personal house, the house inside. And then it's time to plant, and you can start with your life. Clean the house, revise the crap, find that perfect little dream. And as Jupiter would have us, believe, it is time to pray with our brooms and pray with our plows And until next week, I know I don't know everything, but I am just riding the wave with y'all. And follow me on tweet at Rebel Astrologer.